News Center in high definition. This is News Channel 8 on your side today.
Good morning and welcome to News Channel 8 today. I'm Gail Guayardo.
I'm Rod Carter. Thanks so much for joining us. Today is Tuesday, March 26th. We are continuing to follow some breaking news right now in the Amanda Knox case. Adrian Pedersen joins us with that story.
Hey, Rod, this morning, Italy's top court overturned the acquittal of American student Amanda Knox on murder charges and ordered a retrial. You know, I've been reading statements this morning from Knox. She says the thought of a retrial is painful, but she's confident people will see the truth. So here's what happened next. An appeals court in Florence must rehear the case against the American and her Italian boyfriend. That's for the murder of 21-year-old Meredith Kircher. Knox spent 4 years in prison before an appellate court overturned her murder conviction in 2011. According to CNN, the earliest possible date for a new trial would be July, and Knox may not necessarily be required to be there in person. So again, Italy's top court overturned the acquittal of student Amanda Knox and ordered a retrial. I'm on the story. I'll let you guys know if anything new happens before the end of the show.
All right, let's turn things over now to Storm Team 8 meteorologist Lee Spann. She's in the forecast center with a very chilly wake-up forecast.
It certainly is, and you know what? Right now, we're still seeing the temperatures drop as colder air continues to spread right in here to the Bay Area. We're now down to 51 degrees right now in Tampa, but it's 43 in Homosassa. We're down to 46 right now in Lakeland, 51 in Fishhawk, 57 in Sarasota, and we still have strong winds, which makes it feel even colder. 50 degrees at 9 a.m., so notice we'll actually be colder at 9 than we are now. And then just not warming up much. 56 degrees at noon, afternoon highs at 61, and then a quick cooling process this evening. And I will tell you who could expect near freezing temperatures tonight coming up. Now let's check in on the roadways. How are they looking, Leslie?
Actually, a couple little problem spots. This one lingering out here. Injury accident westbound I-4 right at Branch Forbes Road. But traffic is still moving at very good speeds despite this accident. It looks also very good on I-4 in throughout Polk County. Meanwhile, we've still got a collision here Northdale Boulevard just east of Dawnview. Injuries involved in that crash too. 275 is moving up to speed through the Tampa area from Fletcher to I-4. 6-minute commute. Let's pull out the camera. You can see the Howard Franklin Bridge starting to get busier, especially as you head towards Tampa from Pinellas, but still moving at good speeds. That's a look at the roadways. Now let's check in with Gail.
Happening today, same-sex marriage on the steps of the U.S. Supreme Court. Just hours from now, arguments begin in the Supreme Court case over California's gay marriage ban. It was the first approved by California voters in 2008. Then a federal judge later declared Proposition 8 unconstitutional. That ruling was upheld by a court of appeals. As U.S. justices hear arguments on California's gay marriage ban today, a second gay rights case is scheduled for tomorrow dealing with benefits for same-sex couples. The controversial cases have people rallying all across the country to show support for marriage equality. And News Channel 8's Melissa Beckman is live at the federal courthouse with more on what's happening right here in the Bay Area today.
Good morning, Gail. Organizers say this is a historic time in the movement for equality, and they're hoping tonight that people pack the steps of the federal courthouse here in downtown Tampa to show support for the right to marry whoever they want.
People are camped outside the Supreme Court in the snow this week, hoping to be part of history.
I have a lot of gay friends, and I don't think that they should be denied the right to marry the person that they love.
And in Florida's capital, dozens rallied Monday to show support for marriage equality.
I hope that whatever might come out of the Supreme Court, if it is a positive decision for the gay and lesbian community, that they might go back and revisit this.
Of course, not everyone is on the same page.
Marriage is between one man and one woman.
But as people rally in cities around the nation this week, polls show public support for gay marriage is growing. A decade ago, about 1/3 of Americans supported gay marriage. Today, half do, including President Obama.
Our journey is not complete until our gay brothers and sisters are treated like anyone else under the law.
From Tallahassee to D.C. and now on to Tampa, the protesters hope their voices are heard before the justices rule.
And these cases could have a profound impact across the country and right here in Florida. Depending on how the courts rule, Florida's own ban on gay marriage could be overturned. So organizers say they're hoping to attract lots of people here tonight and hoping to attract lots of attention to their movement. Gail?
And Melissa, what time does the vigil start again tonight?
It starts at 7:30, and again, it's right here at the federal courthouse.
All right, thank you so much, Melissa. Well, again, it is at 7:30. It's part of the Light the Way to Justice Coalition, which is the group holding similar gatherings across the country. Support for marriage equality across demographics is at an all-time high. According to a March 2013 Quinnipiac poll, 54% of Americans support marriage equality. And a recent poll from Grove Insight found that 75% of Americans view the freedom to marry the person you love as a constitutional right.
This morning, a Hillsborough County history teacher is among 35 men facing charges in a huge internet sting operation. 40-year-old Philip Cornell is in his first year of teaching at Chamberlain High School in Tampa, and now he's facing felony charges after Manatee County deputies say he used an internet chat room to set up a sexual encounter with a minor. Undercover detectives had posed as young girls on the internet and then set up hidden cameras at a house in Manatee County. They busted the men when they showed up at that house for a sexual encounter with a child.
We've all been trying to run these operations to send the message to, in the state of Florida, don't entice our kids over the internet to do illegal acts, sexual acts.
Cornell has been sent a letter telling him not to report to class anymore. A recorded phone call went out to parents telling them about the arrest. A Largo puppeteer accused in connection with a multi-state child pornography investigation could end up spending up to 50 years in prison. In court, Ronald Brown admitted to 3 counts of possessing child pornography and 5 counts of receiving child pornography. 57-year-old was scheduled to have a jury trial in April, but changed his plea to guilty.
The search continues this morning for the gunman who shot and killed a 30-year-old Davenport man. It happened at a home on Forest Drive yesterday. Detectives say 2 men forced their way into the home and began to argue with Jesse Shivers. Christian Assad, who was also in the home, threatened to call police. That's when detectives say one of the men shot and killed Shivers. Assad was not injured. The Tampa Police Department wants you to take a close look at a truck and see if you recognize it. They say this Ford F-150 made an erratic lane change Sunday night on Waters Avenue, causing a driver to swerve, hitting and killing a woman. Meanwhile, the pickup truck drove off. It is not clear if the truck driver knew he or she caused the deadly accident. Hundreds of people paid their final respects to 21-year-old Army Specialist Zachary Shannon, who lost his life in a helicopter crash in Afghanistan earlier this month. His body arrived at MacDill Air Force Base yesterday. People lined Bayshore Boulevard to wave flags and pay their respects. Even more people lined the streets near Dunedin High School, where Shannon was a student.
Now for some of the stories that are happening today. As U.S. forces start packing to leave Afghanistan for good, violence continues there. This morning, 8 suicide bombers attacked the police headquarters in the Afghan city of Jalalabad, killing at least 5 officers and wounding 4 others. The Taliban has claimed responsibility for that attack. Australia plans to withdraw most of its troops by the end of this year. Australia will also shut down a major base for NATO-led forces and hand security over to Afghan soldiers. Australia has more than 1,600 troops in Afghanistan. More than half of them are now going home. Rescuers are scrambling to find the missing after a deadly landslide struck Indonesia. At least 10 people were killed and several others are missing on Indonesia's main island of Java. The landslide buried 9 houses in heavy mud. More than 300 police officers, soldiers, and residents are using their hands, shovels, and hose to dig through that debris. Frustration continues to grow in Cyprus as residents deal with the fallout from the country's economic crisis. The Central Bank of Cyprus says all banks will be closed until Thursday, which extends the closure for another 2 days. The move comes after Cyprus launched a last-minute bailout deal with European leaders that helped the country avoid bankruptcy and a possible exit from the euro.
It's a bizarre accident that you have to see to believe.
A South Florida driver's car is impaled by a guardrail. We can tell you the driver is okay. We'll have more about this amazing crash coming up in just a moment. And then a couple facing charges after a violent road rage incident was all caught on camera. And still ahead.
Don't do that. Don't do that to me. My husband broke my leg. Please don't. No.
Coming up at 6:45. You could hear a woman frantically screaming in court. We're going to tell you what sent her into hysterics and why that judge may look so familiar to you.
Well, don't forget to take the coat with you when you head outside this morning. Not only is it cold now, it's not warming up all that much. A high of only 61. That's 17 degrees below average. It's still windy out there. Then near record lows tonight, 40 in Tampa, low 30s in our northern areas. But I'll let you know when we get close to 80 degrees again coming up at 6:40. And you're watching News Channel 8 today.